Hey, what's up, guys? Shulko King here, bringing you my Week 2 Team Builder and Battle for Eon World Trophy. And this week we are facing off against Frosted, coach of the Copenhagen Sawsbucks. Before we're getting into it, make sure you guys like the video and consider giving a subscription. I am almost at 100 subs, which has been a crazy accomplishment. And thank you, everybody, for the support to get there. Someone said I should do 100 sub question and answer. That'd be pretty funny. Leave a comment maybe if you think I should do something like that. That would be pretty funny. I would be unique with if I did something like that. But anyway, Frosted narrowly missed playoffs last year. I think I was a 6th seed and snuck in the playoffs, and then eventually obviously won the whole tourney or the whole playoffs last season. So I'm sure she's gonna want to get her revenge, and she also lost week 1. So I'm sure she's going to try super hard to make sure she gets a win this week and stay in better playoff positioning. Again, because this season's so short for World Trophy, all the games definitely matter. So definitely one of the better opponents, I would say, in this league. So someone I definitely have to watch out for. So her team from most to least threatening. First, Obstagoon, huge threat offensively to my team. It's just because my team is fairly bulky. Mons that have like this type of speed, outspeed a lot of things and hit pretty hard. Like Lucario was an issue. This Obstagoon's going to be an issue as well. Knock off Facade fighting move, they're definitely going to come. And like that basically wrecks my team. So that's fun. Brongzong defensively handles my team very well. Aegislash threatens it obviously, but outside of that, like a Toxic, even like a Rest Set would be very annoying to try to take down. Vileplume, very annoying for my team. Grass plus Poison handles the Clefable Rotom. Core of like my top 3 annoying Pokemons. Doesn't handle the Aegislash well, but it does have a Effect Spore, so I could potentially get a sleep on my Aegislash, which would not be the most ideal thing. Also does a lot of damage to like Barbarical. Cincino could get a Effect Spored. Rhydon, Appleton. Does a lot of damage to my team. So I fully expected to come, even if it's like a Vileplume is like a lower ranked mon. Don't see how it doesn't come. Dragapult, obviously an issue, but I combated pretty well with the combination of Aegislash to take on Dracos, Clefable to take on Dracos, Snorlax to take Shadow Balls, Centino even to take Shadow Balls, I suppose. So I definitely expect some physical attacking move to come, maybe like Steel Wing to handle my Clefable, even like Will-O-Wisp attacks. I don't think it's going to be like a standard Dragapult set though. Girder, very annoying, and I'm pretty confident would come. Not as confident as Vileplume, but Girder could definitely come. Knock off Playback, do a lot of damage to Aegislash. I mean, they probably both kill if I'm in my Blade form. Poison Jab can 2-hit KO my Clefable if I'm not physically defensive. That's obviously an issue. And my Rotom doesn't really want to burn it because it has Guts. So definitely have to watch out for that. Sigilyph handles it okay, but doesn't want to take a knockoff. Rotom Heat handles my Aegislash really well, and Clefable can't do a ton back, but Rotom does handle it, so I'm fine about that. Alolan Ninetales seems meh in this matchup. Nasty Plot doesn't break that well against my team, and Aegislash can sit there and do very well, even if it has Shadow Ball. Shouldn't be doing too much to me. If I'm in my Shield form, and then I Revenge Kill pretty easily. Clefairy, very passive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing against my team, but it also can't use Seismic Toss against my Aegislash, so I should be able to set up on it pretty well, unless that's like Thunder Wave, but then I could have sub Aegislash. Vaporeon have pretty low. A lot of like I can set up on it unless it has Roar, and if it has Roar, like Wish Protect, and then Scald is the last move, then it doesn't have Toxic, so it can't do anything to my Rotom, and then obviously it has Toxic, then it can't do much at all. It has to have Scald, Wish Protect, I would imagine, and then either like Toxic, Heal Bell, or Roar. And like if it has any one of those moves, then I can find ways to take advantage of it. Vaporeon is kind of unfortunate in that type of role, as you can fairly predict what it's going to bring for the most part. And then Stunfisk, don't really see coming unless she wants to bring Static for Aegislash, like a special defensive set could take it on 1v1, I suppose. So first Pokemon I thought had a very good matchup in this game, like handles a lot of the team really well, is Snorlax. Like outside of like Vaporeon roaring me out or getting a burn, or like Girder with Drain Punch, I'm doing a lot of damage. And because like the Obstagoon's such a big threat, I have Papa Berry with counter, which should be taking at any Obstagoon, and I live any Obstagoon hit Close combat does 75% max, so even after rocks, I do live a hit. If he goes for a knockoff, then I should be killing as well with counter. Also would take out the girder if he goes for a drain punch on me, and I do live a hit. If he bulks up, that's a different issue. But at this point, crunch can hit the bronze on really hard, and facade, I can absorb any Will-O-Wisp coming from the Rotom Heat, or maybe Scalds coming from the Vaporeon, or like Effect Spore Vileplume, doing a lot of damage with the facade at that point. Next Pokemon is Clefable. Clefable has Wish Protect, Moonblast, Knockoff, mixed defensive spread, allows me to take 2 modest specs, Dragapult Shadow Balls, and then I can Wish Protect and should PP stall it out. I could get a special defense drop, but I would also know that it's, if it's specs, and then I can go into Snorlax, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. I also take 2 Poison Jabs from Adamant Girder, just in case it's like a speedier set to outspeed a no bulk Clefable. And I don't want it to potentially to a KOing me, because I'd imagine she would think my Clefable would be more special defensive to take on Dragapult. And Moonblast is going to be doing a lot. Just in case a Dragapult sub-disable, I do have knockoff, so I will have ways to hit the Dragapult, so it shouldn't be beating me in almost any instance. I mean, Dragapult can do so many things that I might be able to beat this Clefable set, but I feel like I should be in pretty decent condition with it. Aegislash, bring him some offense this week with a autonomized weakness policy. Like I could take a Dragapult hit. Ostagoon does a lot with knockoff, but I take the hit and then can set up a weakness policy, or set up an autonomized. Rotom Heat would be doing a lot with Overheat, but I should be taking it in my shield form. Ninetales could have Shadow Ball, Bronzong, Earthquake, Vaporeon, nothing to hit me. Stunfisk has Earth Power, but I don't really beat the Stunfisk with this, so I wouldn't stay in. Vileplume shouldn't have anything. Clefairy won't have anything. Girder could have knockoff, but I set up on Autonomize and doing pretty decent damage. I went with Flash Cannon really only to kill the Ninetales, because +2 Shadow Ball does not kill Ninetales, and then Shadow Ball would be doing a lot from Ninetales in return to me, especially if I have a weakness policy activated where I'm not going to be that healthy. I also considered Air Slash over Flash Cannon just to like get a flinch on the Vileplume, because Vileplume, or not the Vileplume, the Vaporeon, because Vaporeon handles the set pretty well. I need to get it weakened for Shadow Ball to be doing a lot of damage, but I do take Scalds pretty okay. The speed allows me to outspeed max speed Dragapult when I get the +2 is the purpose of that. So the next Pokemon that's coming is an answer to Rotom Heat and Vaporeon, and that is the Rotom Wash. Special defensive Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Pain Split, pretty straightforward moves to get a recovery of HP. Nasty Plot is there for a potential to break mid-game. It's not going to sweep, but it should be doing pretty decent damage, because she doesn't have she does Vileplume to like do a lot of damage to me, but outside of that, like it's kind of hard for her to OHKO me with any Mon on the team. And then like I could set up a Nasty Plot as the Vileplume comes in, and then Volt Switch into something else. Potentially this Mon here, which can take on Vileplume pretty okay, unless that's Sleep Patter. And that's his Life Orb Sigilus set. Basically max HP, or max special attack, max speed, to outspeed the Obstagoon and hit it for like 70% with Dazzling Gleam. And I would definitely take that damage on the Obstagoon. I can revenge kill it at that point if I can get a big Dazzling Gleam on it. Psychic does a lot of damage to the team except for the Bronzong, which I have Heat Wave for. If it's like a special defensive Vaporeon, this kind of takes it on pretty well. And I guess it's like Heat-proof Bronzong. It handles it okay, but Bronzong shouldn't be able to like defeat me with this set, especially because I have Magic Guard to prevent any Toxics from coming off. Dragapult obviously does a lot of damage to this, but I have ways to handle Dragapult. Last Pokemon I have is Rhydon. Stealth Rock's Body Press, Toxic Earthquake. The defense allows me to live either 2 close combats or 2 low kicks, or a knockoff into a close combat coming from the Obstagoon, I think even after rocks, and then I would kill a Body Press. Toxic is there to catch switch-ins, like the Vaporeon would be an obvious switch-in into my, if I have my Rhydon out, so I can put that on a timer, and don't expect it to have Heal Bell. Again, if that's Heal Bell, then only has Scald as the other move, and then Rotom handles it super well. Even the Sigilith, handles Vaporeon pretty well anyway. And then Earthquake just to do some damage. The special defense allows me to live a Draco Meteor, Specs Draco Meteor from full. I don't remember if it's full or after rocks, from the Dragapult. So that's my team. It's going to be a tough game, but definitely manageable. But let's get right into the game. Okay, looks like we're about ready to start this battle. So again, I was saying before, I think the 3 biggest threats, or I guess 4, I think are definitely going to come. Opsagoon, very offensively threatening. Brongzong, annoying to take down defensively, but I have answers for it. Dragapult's obviously annoying, but Clefable kind of counters it pretty well. And Vileplume, it's going to be pretty annoying to take down with this team besides Sigilyph. So I expect those 4, and probably like the Rotom Heat, maybe Girder. So good luck, have fun, Frosted. Almost everything I said. No Brongzong, so no rocks in this game, which is nice. Dragapult, Obstagoon, Rotom, Heat, no Brongzong. I will definitely take Vileplume and Girder. Yep. Okay, so no Alolan Ninetales, no Brongzong, no Stunfisk, and no Clefairy. Yeah, I will definitely take rocks not being up in this game. So my plan is to lead with Rhydon and get rocks up. Snorlax takes 75% max from an adamant close combat from Obstagoon. So ideally, I mean, I'm outside of that range and I can kill with a counter. That would be the game plan anyway, but we will see. So again, good luck, have fun, Frosted. She just barely missed out on playoffs. Last year I think I took the playoff spot basically from her and I was able to win season 1 of EWT. So hopefully this early, if we can get an early win this season, start 2-0, I will definitely take that start. Vileplume is the lead, and that is not that great for me. Yeah, because Giga Drain is going to destroy my life. And if she goes for Sleep Powder, and that'll be super annoying. But this is my dedicated Vileplume answer, so I have to go into it. Yeah, this Mon is definitely a threat to my team. Let's see, Sleep Powder, Lead Seed. Okay, perfect. What do I go for here? I don't think they stay in. They're going to switch out into Vaporeon. I guess has to be the answer. Could be Obstagoon. That would be kind of crazy. So Vileplume, or if that's the answer, then I think I'm okay going into my Rotom. Because there's no way they're going for a Giga Drain. Maybe a Sludge Bomb. Maybe this was a little bit too hasty. But I imagine she's switching out. Okay, yep, so she switches out. So Vileplume, Lead Seed. Yep, we get that right. And I can go for a Nasty Plot here. Oh, were she Toxics? So I could go right into my Sigilyph, and that would be pretty problematic. Or I can Volt Switch, seeing if the Vileplume comes in, and then go back into Sigilyph, I suppose. So I can get a gauge on this damage. It's like 12%. That's honestly not that bad. This is going to be a little bit of an annoying cycle, though. We keep this up. Volt Switch. Looks like it's probably physically defensive. So Sigilyph comes right back in. How much is Sigilyph doing? It's unfortunate I don't have Calm Mind on this. So physically defensive, I'm doing like 40%. So I'm fine staying in and going for, what do I go for? I guess I go for the Psychic. Maybe I get a crit. It's not Hex if I call it. It would be risky if Obstagoon's a switch. That seems would be crazy because I could easily Heat Wave into Dazzling Gleam. Okay, Vaporeon comes in. And we can gauge what type of damage this is. I imagine it is special defensive. Yeah, that's special defensive. As all heck. Yeah, that's like max special defensive. Scald seems pretty free from her end. So I think Clefable is fine at this point, and I can go for a knockoff. Maybe catch the Vileplume so it's not recovering lefties, or catch this Vaporeon. Alright, Wish comes out. Yeah, honestly, I am fine with getting a knockoff on anything. Vaporeon would be great. Just make it a little bit harder for it to take on my Sigilyph. That would still take it on pretty well, honestly. Yeah, Burn would be pretty unfortunate if it's Hex. And 25%, that does nothing. Okay, no lefties. I'll take that. So Clefable, Vaporeon, yeah, and it's just standard bulk there. But I do want to make sure I keep this healthy. I can honestly knock off again. I think I'm pretty okay with knocking off again, because I think she's going to predict me to go for the heal, and healing would be nice. Okay, yeah, again, that's not doing that much damage. Try to go for the prediction, but at worst, I could still be at full health after I go for the Wish here. And I will be not over predicting at this point and just going for a Wish. Man, we've already wasted 2 minutes each of our time, and we really haven't accomplished anything. So this is definitely a great start. But again, as I was saying before, I really do have to make sure I keep my timer in check, and especially with this bulky of a team, I gotta make sure I have more timer. So the Vileplume comes in. How much is Vileplume doing to this Clefable? Vileplume. I don't think it's, I would assume it's not special attack invested. Sludge Bomb is doing like over half. Go for the protect here. Yeah, we're both at about the same amount of timer. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very annoying match here. But honestly, if I get like effect spore from the Vileplume on the Snorlax, then I should be doing pretty decent damage with Facade. So that's definitely not the end of the world. What's the switch in? Rotom Heat. Okay, so I recover up to full HP. I am not staying in case this is trick. And I don't have anything with my Rhydon to take this on. So Rotom Wash should be a pretty hard counter for this Rotom Heat. It could be trick, but I could just continuously Volt Switch, so it's not the end of the world. And always just gain momentum. I would want to get Rocks up. Rocks are going to be super nice because she doesn't have a rocker. Let's see, is Vileplume the switching? Vaporeon's the switching? I'm okay with this. But I just Volt Switch and go right back at it into Sigilyph, and we're still not accomplishing anything. Or I could even, if she stays in, I just go back into my Clefable and Wish up. Yeah, this is looking like it could just be a stall fest with timer. And this really blows. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Man, that would stink, but it's definitely looking like it could be that position. Because there's no need for me to make a risky play. And there's really no need for her to make a risky play either. So hopefully, like, one of us, I mean, hopefully it's not me that's going to make the wrong play, but I don't expect Frosty to make the wrong play either. So yeah, Vileplume comes out. Gonna Volt Switch, go into my Sigilyph. And just Psychic. Like, I could Heat Wave at a point and maybe go for a burn. Especially if she predicts if the Obstagoon comes in. Like, if she wants to make a risky play. I'm gonna go for the Heat Wave. Sure. Maybe she might feel at some point pressured to go make an aggressive play, because I do have more timer at this point, and I have a pretty consistent ways about how I'm going to be playing at this point. There's no really need for me to deviate, and I don't really lose much for going on the Heat Wave on the Vaporeon, because I do have answers being the Clefable and the Rotom. Let's see, Obstagoon comes out, that's perfect.
So Heat Wave comes off. Oh, I like that damage. And it's Flame Orb. And I'm killing with a Dazzling Gleam. That's perfect. That couldn't have gone any better. Doesn't matter, she switches out here. Yeah, I figured she had to make some type of play at some point. And she is going to switch out, so that's fine. But I get a crap ton of damage. So, Obstagoon, level 50. I mean, Vaporeon still has a wish. So that's something I do have to take into consideration. I'm going into Rotom. No need to overpredict here. And at this point, if I bring in my Rotom Wash, I Volt Switch, even or a Hydro Pump if she goes for Nasty Plot. But at that point, if she switches into Vaporeon, I just Volt Switch out as she wishes. Go into my Sigilyph and then force that the Obstagoon doesn't come back in. Yeah, Volt Switch is fine. So I took 44 damage, 43 damage. Rotom Heat, level 50, 43 damage. That looks like a max roll from Timid, and I assume it's going to be Timid. Max roll Timid, Rotom Heat. What is she thinking here? Does she go into... Okay, Dragapult's the answer. U-turn could be a play. My Clefable is the answer to this. It is a little bit unfortunate if it's a sub-disable set because I am burned. So that's something to consider with this Dragapult if it is substitute. But there's no need for me to risk anything. It could be Choice Banded, Steel Wing. So let's see. U-turn. Let's gauge this damage. 202 to... So that's 25 damage. So Dragapult, U-turn, level 50. Yeah, it's definitely attack invested. Looks like it's Adamant even. So Adamant Clefable. Yeah, I go right back out in the Rotom. Because a Will-O-Wisp would be pretty unfortunate. At this point, maybe that's a little risky. If I can get a Pain Split off, that would be pretty nice. I think I would actually go for Pain Split at this point. Volt Switch is a play, but maybe she overpredicts and go and like I could go into Rhydon pretty easily here. Trick is also an option. Let's see what the play is. Volt Switch. Okay. Bringing me a little bit low, but definitely okay. The Dragapult's going to come out, though. I know it's attack invested, so my Rhydon is a pretty safe switch in. It could be Will-O-Wisp, so that would be a little bit unfortunate. Obstagoon comes out. I'm glad that Frosted made a play because I didn't feel like making a play at this point, and I didn't really need to. So this is down to 50%. I will definitely take that and go into my Rhydon. It could be Choice Scarf, Dragapult. Something to consider. Could be Will-O-Wisp. Again, I really have to get the Vaporeon really weakened. But my Rhydon is my Obstagoon. Answer at least somewhat. Knockoff comes out. Okay, and then at this point I have to decide if I'm going to kill the Obstagoon or get rocks up. I think the answer is get rocks up. Yeah. Okay, yeah, good. I think that was too risky for her to stay in. Rhydon obviously can't switch into this Obstagoon anymore. I do have a lot more timer, so that's something, unfortunately, that I do have to take into consideration. That if she runs out of timer, she loses. Okay, so rocks come out. I will definitely be taking this continuous chip. And if the Rotom Heat comes out, it's either, I know it's not Scarfed, or it's Heavy Duty Boots if it's taking damage, and might be forced to defog at that point, but then I can bring in my Rotom, or even my Clefable. If I know it's like Boots and not worried about getting tricked. Oh wait, I brought in the Aegislash? Oh, that was crazy. I did not mean to do that. I completely goofed there. Is that necessarily the worst thing though? Yeah, no, I definitely didn't mean to do that. Oops. Fortunately, I didn't lose anything after it, so Sludge Bomb, Vileplume. Yeah, Sigilyph was my answer. Alright, I guess I'll find out what the Aegislash answer is on this team. Is the Vaporeon. Okay. Vaporeon isn't doing much. I mean, I just die in and Psychic. Unfortunately, I didn't have Size Shock on this. Probably something I should have considered. Alright, and the burn. That doesn't matter. I roost up. She probably goes in the Dragapult here, but it's fine. Okay. Alright, Wish comes off. I mean, I'm going for Dazzling Gleam. There's no way I let that, there's no way I let the Obstagoon come in for free. And I really don't care if she brings anything else in on her team. Maybe the Rotom, but I don't really care about that. Okay, yep. Dazzling Gleam comes off, not doing much. Stays in and wishes again. Maybe that was a misclick. But I just stay in and Psychic. I really have no reason not to. It kind of stinks that it's coming down to this, but I learned definitely from my last game that I do not want to lose the timer. So I gotta keep the pressure on, and I have to force her to make plays, even though it is 6-6. But again, I do have the timer advantage, and I could get a special defense drop. Not gonna over predict. Rotom Heat can come out. Don't really care. I'm going to just go for Dazzling Gleam and making sure that Obstagoon does not come in. Yep, so she just keeps staying in, so that's fine. Scald's going to come out and do decent damage. She's going to get back up to full health. Basically full health. No reason for me to not continuously roost. I do have 3 minutes of timer in addition, so that's definitely working to my advantage. And you could kind of call it stalling out at this point, which is probably not wrong, and it kind of stinks that it has to come to it, but with these current timer conditions on Wi-Fi, it kind of stinks, and she's using a lot of time up here, which is probably not the right call, but I think she's going to have to make a play, because I just continuously roost at this point. Maybe make a switch into a Clefable at some point, but I'm not going to be as long as she wishes, I'm not going to be making a play in the Clefable. And it's not like she has an opportunity to like crit, because I'll be continuously roosting, so she won't be able to kill me unless she gets 2 crits in a row. Then she probably has a decent chance to kill. Well, she's up back at full health. I'm going to be getting at full health. Yeah, again, I got 3 minutes of timer advantage, so like with her staying in, I don't think it really accomplishes anything. She's Scald, Wish, Protect, Roar, or Toxic, I'm guessing, in the last slot. Okay, a little bit of a higher roll, but doesn't matter. Again, I'm in the position to just continuously stay in and roost. There's really no reason for me not to just do this. At some point, I could decide to just go into my Rotom Wash. But there's really no reason for me to. I just continuously roost. And either she stays in and like understands this and just clicks a Scald as quickly as possible. Yeah, just to force my hand and make me run out of PP. I can make the switch into my Rotom at this point. Maybe not reason for me to do it yet, but there's two things that could happen here. I mean, she could get a burn and that'd be unfortunate, but I could either Pain Split or predicting the... I don't think... There's no reason why the Obstagoon would come out. I just stay in and Pain Split. Because at worst, if the Obstagoon comes out, does she actually? Okay, no. Pain Split, yep. Yeah, I'm definitely okay with this. Because this Vileplume's not going to outspeed. And I have a little bit more HP. Yeah, that's definitely pretty clutch on my end. And yep, again, making sure I don't lose the timer, which is a pretty bad position to be in, but it's kind of the hand that's forced at this point playing on this format, which kind of stings. But again, I have no reason just to not Volt Switch and go into my Sigalith, unless if I die to a Sludge Bomb. I can't assume. I assume it's no attack. Vileplume. Level 50 Sludge Bomb. Won't kill. Okay, and she Leech Seeds. I don't really agree with that play. I think you had to go for the Sludge Bomb predicting me to go into Sigalith because I had no reason not to. Psychic kills, but no reason for me not to just roost and get the full HP. Again, it's super annoying, but I have to play what I'm given. And it makes the most sense for me to just get up to full HP. It honestly really doesn't matter if I kill this Vileplume again. If we just go with the timer, I should be in a better position to win this, which, again, really stinks that it has to come to that, but it kind of is what it is. So, Roost. And just stay at a pretty high HP amount. I get a Psychic off, which I guess is pretty nice. I think at some point she has to try to make a play on an Obstagoon, but she knows that and then like hope I'm not max speed, or I guess she has to hope she gets multiple crits. So yeah, again going for the Wish. Rotom Heat's a play, but I cannot let the Obstagoon come in for free. I have to go for Dazzling Gleam. Yep. And now she's back up to full HP. And I Roost again and just continue this cycle. It really behooves me to not just continually doing this. Yeah, I mean, she has 2 minutes left on timer and I have 5.5 minutes. This really stings, but I guess I do have a bulkier team. And as long as I have the timer, I don't really need to be making any other plays. And she's going to run out of Scalds pretty soon as well. Yeah. I think I'd Roost a couple more times here. She's going to have to make a play at some point, and I'm guessing she's debating that right now. I think she realizes she only has 2 minutes left. It's going to be hard to kill. My bulky team is 6 in 2 minutes. So she's going to have to find a way. Yeah, Rotom comes in. Nasty plot would be a little bit of an issue, but I did recover HP with my Rotom, but I think Rhydon is still to play it anyway, because she could Volt Switch right now and go into Obstagoon and get a kill, and that could be a little bit problematic, so no reason to let that happen. Like the very worst thing that happens here is like a Toxic or Will-O-Wisp, or a double, but she can't double into Obstagoon. because I do live the hit and I will kill. Alright, so she goes in the Vile Plume. Cool. Takes some rocks damage. Again, doesn't really matter because I go into my Sigilith, and especially because I'm full health, like I'm pretty okay with doing this. Again, I have rocks up, so it's also going to be hurting her if we're going to be playing the switching game, and she doesn't have rocks in her team, so I could just play the switching game with really no issue. Yep, Giga Drain not doing anything. Again, it really doesn't benefit me. Oh, actually, I didn't even... Actually, I think at this point I just go for a Psychic. If like the Rotom Heat is to play, if I can do a lot of damage to that, I'll definitely take it. I honestly didn't pay attention if it was heavy duty boots or not. The Vaporeon comes in. Psychic is going to be doing like 25%. I roost in case she gets a crit. I have to do this. Yeah, man, this timer stinks. It stinks that it has to be like this, but it's really my best play. Alright, she wishes again. Again, I have to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Rotom Heat could come in. Again, really don't care about that because I do have a Rotom Wash to continuously come in on it, so I don't really care. Yeah, maybe she's not even cognizant. I mean, she's 100% cognizant, I'm sure, of the timer being a thing, but that's not Dynamax, Joe. Yeah, at this point I just Psychic. Really no downside to doing that, because if she brings an Obstagoon, I just kill a Dazzling Gleam. She wishes up here again. I'm gonna be going for Dazzling Gleam, because if she brings in a Rotom here, gets it the full, I bring in my Rotom to force like the Volt Switch to not happen, or like an overheat. Is not gonna be doing much as long as she doesn't bring the Obstagoon, because she doubles from the Rotom and goes an Obstagoon. She shouldn't kill with close combat. She doesn't kill unless she gets a crit, and I kill with Body Press. And then it's still timers in my advantage, but I'm up 6-5 with a low Obstagoon. Okay, so yeah, she makes the Obstagoon play. Finally. I feel like she had to do this, but I'm going to kill a Dazzling Gleam. But maybe this is her... Maybe this is like breaking the cycle. Maybe she realized she had to lose the Obstagoon in order to figure out a way to like try to win this game. Stinks that has to come to it, but yeah, Obstagoon is going to die to my Dazzling Gleam. I mean, at least she switches out, but yeah, she's going to go into Rotom Heat. Sure. And then I'm going to go is Boots. Okay. Boots, Rotom Heat. Not taking much. My Rhydon's a pretty safe switch-in. She could double again and go into Obstagoon, but she's not going to kill. I just do have to watch out for Bandit Dragapult. Volt Switch. Yep, nothing's coming out there. And what is her play at this point? She can't bring the Obstagoon in. She just stays in and Will-O-Wisps or something. She could bring an Obstagoon here. I don't think I bring in my Fable. I think I stay in and Body Press. She has a minute left on timer. Yeah, boy, this stings. Brings in Vaporeon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I just go right into my... I'm doing some decent damage. I go into my Sigilith because I'm full HP. I mean, she's gonna Wish, or go into Rotom Heat, I guess. But again, I could just go into my Rhydon. But she has Boots, so something I definitely should have caught before. Yeah, no, this is a pretty boring and unfortunate continuous cycle, but I have no reason to deviate from this because I do have more timer. So, like, she's forced to be making some plays. Dazzling Gleam, again, coming off to make sure I hit the potential Obstagoon that comes in. I mean, I did draft a pretty bulky team, so it shouldn't be a surprise that it comes to this. But it is what it is. And I feel like not a lot of people on Wi-Fi draft bulky teams. So this is something that's kind of up in my wheelhouse, but something I wanted to give a try as well. But I do have a Sigalith, I do have a Chinchino, I have a Celgor, Barbaracle. Like, I have some pretty decent offensive mons, and even a lot of my bulky mons, Clefable, Aegislash, I'm bringing as weakness polyautonomize. So, like, there is definitely potential in this team to have the bulk. So, yeah, it looks like it's probably going to end in a 6-6, which is definitely sucky. But, I mean, I get this win because she's going to run out of timer. She's going to bring in a Rotom Heat. Is not going to do anything. My Dazzling Gleam, she's going to be back to full HP. I bring in my Rotom. Maybe she switches into Vileplume. Maybe she switches into Vaporeon. I just come right back into this mon. Yeah, Rhydon comes right back out. This is basically rinse and repeat. Like, I have no reason to deviate from this. I'm forcing her Scald PP to go down. She's forcing my Roost PP to go down, but I guess with like such short of a timer, it's really hard for that to really come to fruition. So she switches out the Rotom. She has to go. Okay, Vileplume. That's fine. I just go right back into my Sigalith, though. This really doesn't, in my opinion, this really doesn't accomplish anything for her. I mean, the only issue would be if I like click a wrong button or something. I could even go Aegislash here. The Girder could come out, but I go into Clefable. Just in case it's like special defensive or something. Sludge Bomb comes out. Shouldn't be doing that much damage. Yeah, it looks like a more bulky spread. Again, no reason for me to just not Roost. And stay as healthy as possible. We can gauge the damage. She brought me down to 80, so that's like 69. Nice, 69 damage. We'll see if this one's a little bit smaller. That's a crit. I'm sure she was hoping for that a little bit earlier in the game than now, but yeah, I just continuously Roost. She has 22 seconds, and I guess I don't want to lose any differential, you could call it. Yeah, man, this really stinks, but there's no reason for me to not make these plays. I guess I could have gone into Aegislash there, just hoping I don't get double crit. Yeah, but I just Roost. And then after this, I just kill the Vileplume. I should be killing. I am Life Orb. Sigalith, Vileplume, max HP. I kill. Yeah, unless she has a little bit of Spadef. I just gotta stall out a little bit of this time. I mean, I honestly don't have to stall out the timer anymore, but it really doesn't benefit me to not go for the Roost continuously. Which, yeah, it really stinks that it had to come down to this, but it's the game we play. I would be pissed if it came down to this. But I'm sure Frosted understands, like, these are the plays that I had to make, and understood that a timer was definitely a realistic option. At this point, and realizing I learned in my first week early on that you have to really watch out for a timer, especially playing with like the bulky team that I do have. So I can go into my Aegislash here. I think that's a fine play. Predicting her to go for the Sludge Bomb again. I mean, I could just kill this Vileplume with a Psychic. But she's losing a lot of... I don't know what the connection happening is here. What's happening? Okay. Because I'm assuming she wasn't deciding on that play. Or she was counting my PP of Roost. That would be a little bit crazy. I said Sludge Bomb. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. So, that really stinks. Don't really know what to say there. I mean, I realized it was my win condition like halfway through the battle, even early on in the battle, that I knew we had about 8 minutes left to timer each. So I realized I had to make quicker plays because of how bulky my team is, and I knew she really couldn't break it without having rocks on her side. And my priority was making sure I had as much time as possible because I learned from my week 1 that I literally won with 3 seconds left. So, yeah, I can't even really say that was a good game, Frosted. I'm sorry that it, I don't know. I am sorry that it came down to it and like the time and all this. It's really Pokemon's fault that it like had to come down to this sort of way to finish this game, but it was my win condition and like I didn't have to really deviate from my plan to try to win this game because I did have a timer advantage, so I had to play to that. If I like deviated away from the plan, then I was making suboptimal plays, and I don't think people want me to be making suboptimal plays in this. So sorry, Frosted, but I had to do what I had to do to get this win. So currently 2-0. Don't really know how differential works with it being a 6-6 game, but until next time, later, guys.